Okay, this is lesson 64, factoring trinomials. This is the second day. So yesterday we learned how to factor trinomials. We're going to do the same thing today, just a little bit harder. Okay? But it's the same steps. Okay? So here are the steps. And step 2, we have this X box where you have to put in, let me make that a little smaller. No, not today, because you have them, unless you don't have them from yesterday. So A and A, top center is A times C, and then the bottom is B, okay? So if you missed yesterday's lesson, this is the same as yesterday's lesson. Yes?
What's the difference between today's lesson and yesterday's?
Bigger numbers. Okay? Here we go. But part of it's going to be, I think, is a little bit more exciting. Okay, here we go, number 1. So, we're factoring, we're breaking it apart. Please end your conversations. Okay? We need to make sure we have a descending order here. So, we know A is equal to 4, B is equal to negative 16, and then C is equal to 15. Okay? So, that's the first thing. Just watch right now. You don't need to write anything down. I'll give you plenty of time to write. Okay? So, once we have that, we start with our X box. You take your... And we put A on the top left, 4 and 4. Yesterday they were all 1 and 1, remember? Yeah. So now we're going to have different numbers. It could be 1, it could be 4, it could be 3, 2, whatever it is. Top center is A times C, so we have to do 4 times 15, which is 60, okay? And we need to figure out what adds up to B, which is negative 16, okay? So I know I'm dealing with negative numbers, but the answer needs to be positive, so it's going to be a negative times a negative, right? So we need to start with negative 1 times negative 60, negative 2. I'm making a list now. I think that's it, okay? Out of all of these, I'm noticing the one that adds up to negative 16 is this one, negative 6 minus 10, which is equal to negative 16. All these other ones don't. Negative 1 plus negative 60 is going to be negative 61, and we got negative, this next one's negative 32, this next one is negative 23, next one is negative 19, next one is negative 17, okay? So I'm clearly noticing that this is the only one. We cannot just pick whatever numbers we want. So here's the fun part. Look up here, please. So remember I said there are fractions. So we're putting the numbers down. Yesterday we were not able to simplify, but look today. Can we simplify any of these fractions? Yeah, on this first one I know that 2 goes into each of these, so this becomes 2 over negative 3. Okay, now, and then this one, same thing, it becomes 2 over negative 10. Okay, or 2 over negative 5, I'm sorry. Right? Because we know 2 goes into each of these. So now these are my factors. So just like yesterday, I'm going to take the square root of a squared, which is a, and I'm just going to draw 2 parentheses first. They're going to be multiplied with each other. We have 2a minus 3, and then we have 2a minus 5, right? And those are the factors, okay? So today it's not so much that you could do it in your head, right? Would you be able to do this one in your head if you tried? No. But what about yesterday? Could you do some of those in your head yesterday? Yeah, for sure. Today's a lot harder, okay? So what did I just do again? First thing I did is I figured out A, B, and C. Then I made my X box. Put in A times C, which is 16, A times, or just B is negative 16. I'm writing down the factors now of what multiplies to positive 60 but adds up to negative 16. I know I need to use negatives. And I notice that negative 6 and negative 10 is equal to negative 16. All these other ones add up to something else, so we can't use any of the other values. So I'm going to put negative 6 and negative 10 down, and I'm going to box them and then simplify these fractions. I'm noticing the first one's 2 over negative 3, and the other one's 2 over negative 5. And then these are my factors, okay, are the coefficients. Does that make sense so far? Okay, so that's number 1. Okay, let me do number 2 now. Number 2, we have 7x squared plus 24x plus 9. So this one's a little bit harder. So a is equal to 7, b is equal to 24, and c is equal to 9. Okay, so we have to use our do an x box now. We know that a is 7, so we're going to put 7 and 7. A times c, 7 times 9 is 63. And 24 is in the middle. So we're asking ourselves, what times what is going to equal to 63? Okay? So first thing I do is start with, I'm only dealing with positive, so I'm only going to do positive numbers. Positive 1 times positive 63. Positive 2 doesn't work. Positive 3 times positive 21. Ooh, that looks pretty good. And then positive, that's 6. Positive 7 times positive 9. Okay, and there isn't anything else. Out of these 3, I'm noticing that this one, if I were to add these two equal to 64. That doesn't work. These 2 add up to 24. Okay, so 24 is what we're looking for right here. So we're going to use 3 and 21. Okay, now we're going to do the box part on this first one. Can I simplify? Nope. The second one, 7 over 21. Can I simplify that? Yep. It's going to be 7 goes in each of these, so it's going to be 1/3, right? So these are actually my factors. So I'm going to make 2 parentheses again. We got 7. Square root of x squared is going to be 7x plus 3. And then we have 7, or x, no 7, x plus 3 on the bottom. Okay? And that's it. That's your answer. Okay? Pretty easy, right? So, same process as yesterday. That's why I had you look at it very carefully yesterday. So what I'd like you to do, today's Thursday, let's have 2 solid ones about number 1, and 1 solid 2 is about number 2. Ready, set, go. Continuing on here, number 3. Okay, number 3. Looks similar to number 1, right? Look at number 1 and number 3. What's different? The middle number, right? So we're going to have the same answer or no? No. So you have to be careful. Even though we might have similar processes, we're not going to get the similar answer. Okay, so here we go. Let me just make a little room here. Okay, so let's do this one together. What's A equal to, everyone? B is equal to? C is equal to? Good, okay. Now we're going to draw our X box. Okay, and we're going to put 4 in for A. Oh, sorry about that. 4 is going in for A. A times C is 60. Okay, B is? Okay, good. Didn't we make a list already before from problem number 1? Okay, what's the combination we want to use? I'm going to go back to problem 1. What's the combination we want to use to get negative 23? What's that? Okay, negative 3, negative 20, right? Because if we were to make that list again, it'd be negative 3, negative 20. So we're going to put negative 3, negative 20. Okay, so I just showed you a way that you could save time, right? Do you have to write the list out every time? No? Can you do it in your head? Yeah, you could do either one. If you don't know how to do it in your head, then you have to write the list down. Okay, here we go. So box the 4 and the negative 3. Can I simplify 4 and negative 3? No. What about 4 and negative 20? What goes into both 4 and 20? No. 4 goes in each, right? 1 and negative 5. No, I asked what goes into both, though. Not what the simplified answer is. Okay? Next step. Wait. Shh. What's the next step? Okay, 2 sets of parentheses. Okay, 4 what? 4x minus 3 times? Times what? or x minus 5. Let me see your work. I didn't come around to make sure you did that, okay? You should have been working along with me the whole time, right? Not just staring. Some of us have an issue. We have 5n squared minus 38n plus 21. Okay, this one's a little harder, right? But we could do this. Here we go. What's a equal to?
5.
Good. Make sure you're doing this one alongside with me. B is? Negative 38. C? 21. Good. Okay, now we're going to draw our x box, okay? Alright. What's our, we're going to put A and A in their spots, so 5 and 5. What's A times C?
105.
105. Excellent. Good. What's B? Negative 38. Okay, let's think a little bit. Are we going to deal with only positives and negatives together, or two negatives?
One negative.
No, let's think about it. Right? Our product has to be positive 105, right? So negative times negative. But we still need a negative, right, because of this. So we're going to do negative times negative. Let's write our list. It seems hard, but let's do this. Negative 1 times what is negative 1 or positive 105? What do I multiply negative 1 with to get 105? Negative 105. Multiply, not add. Right? Can we use 2?
No.
No. What about 3?
Yeah.
Yep, 3 we could use. Negative 3 times negative 35. Negative 5 times negative 21. Okay? So far, have you noticed any answers? What's my combination? Right? Because we know this one's negative 106. That doesn't work. This one is negative 38. There it is, right? The next one doesn't work because it's negative 26. So we're going to use negative 38. So we're going to use negative 3, negative 35. Okay, box these two. Can I simplify 5 and negative 3?
No.
No, what about 5 and negative 35? Yeah, what goes into both of these? 5, right? So it's going to be 1 over negative 7, right? Okay, finish it off. Go. All right, so the answer here, you're just supposed to make two parentheses. It's going to be 5n minus 3 times the quantity of 1n minus 7, or n minus 7. Okay? Any questions on number 4? No. Okay, good. Next one, number 5. Okay. Let's do number 5 together. All right. This one, I'd like to start us off. Here we go. So what's our A equal to?
6. Negative, 6.
B is?
Negative 5.
C?
Negative 1.
Okay, good. We're going to draw our X box, of course. And we're going to input our numbers. We got 6. And we got 5. 6 times negative 20 is negative 120. And then negative 5. Okay, so what's going to multiply to be negative 120? Okay, so again, you're dealing with bigger numbers, but you're already in high school, so 100 shouldn't scare you. 120 shouldn't scare you. Okay, if it does, we'll do this often enough and it shouldn't scare you after that. So 1 times, we need to have a product that's negative. So am I going to do with positives only? Positives and negatives, or negatives only?
Positive and negative.
Positives and negatives, right? Because we need to multiply to be negative 120, right? So let's start with positive 1. Positive 1 times negative 120. Positive 2 times negative 60. Positive 3 times negative 40. Positive 4. Is 4 going to work? Yeah. Positive 4 times negative 30. Positive 5 times what?
12.
24. Negative 24.
Oh, my bad.
Positive 6 times 20, right? The answer's already up there. Positive 7. Does positive 7 work? Okay, so 7 doesn't work. 8 works. 8 and negative 15. Okay. Does 9 work? Nope. 10. Positive 10 and negative 12. Okay, let's keep going. Positive 12 and negative 10. Right, we have to keep going, right, because we have positives and negatives. So you're noticing you have the number pairs, but you don't have the positives and negatives. So we have to write all of them out. Positive 15 times negative 8. Positive 20 times negative 6. Positive 24 times negative 5. And positive 30 times negative 4. Positive 40 times negative 3. Positive 60 times negative 2. And positive 120 times negative 1. Okay? It almost seems like I'm repeating the numbers, right? That's a long list. You need to do every number sometimes, okay? Which ones of these adds up to negative 5? Do any of them? No, none of them do, right? Even if I were to check the ones in the middle one should be the closest, right? Because, positive 40, negative 30, that's negative 26. This one's negative 19. So I'm going to go in the middle a little bit more. So these two are exactly in the middle, but this one is negative 7. Excuse me. Thank you. This one's negative 2, and this one's positive 2, right? So do any of them add up to negative 5? No. So when this happens, we can't do anything. So we would say not factorable or factorable. Okay? So on your homework tonight, you might do all of this work, and you might notice you can't factor it. Okay? Is that a big deal if you can't factor it? No, it just is what it is. That's just the answer. Okay? So that means that this original problem is about as broken up as it's ever going to get. It can never be broken down. Okay? And I'm going to end the lesson there because we have to do some other activities for our class time today.